Bradman walked to the centre.
And he is struck on the head by a ball from Larwood.
Similar reception for Steve Smith.
Magnificent performance.
A sweet moment for Tim Payne.
It's the Ashes. It means so much to all of us.
What about that? Unbelievable.
When we put on the baggy green, we are representing every mum, dad and kid. We won't let them down. They think that they own the Ashes. They think it's their birthright. We'll show them.
We're with you, Australia!
Oh, what a catch that is!
We're with you, Smithy!
Got him! Knocked him over!
We're with you, Paddy!
Gone! This day just gets better for Australia.
We're with you, Australia!
Brilliantly taken. Australia waited a long time for this.
We're with you, Australia!
It's the Ashes.
But they come away victorious.
We're with you, Australia.
Chemist Warehouse, proud sponsor of this short break. Introducing SW23 Sport by Shane Warne.
Can't get to the track? No, I mean the racetrack. Doesn't matter. Sportsbet will bring it to you with our spring delivery. Get on the Sportsbet app. It's fully loaded with everything you need to make it look easy, including market movers to see where the late money's going. Expert tips from best bets for every race, every day. And strap yourself in with same race multi. Combine multiple runners in the one race for bigger odds. Enjoy a spring delivery with Spet.
I will catch you! I will catch you!
Fantastic furniture. Find your fantastic.
This is my life. A wolf among sheep.
Almost 10 years without a kill.
Sometimes I have the urge to hurt bad people.
Have you learned nothing?
I might still be a monster, but I'm an evolving monster.
Cleo is back with her family, finally safe.
They want him gone now more than ever before. Trouble has already returned to St Kilda.
The 6-year-old mare will resume racing in autumn.
It's never been more important to know what's happening. Know with 7 News.
By strengthening the security settings on her device, Denise is resisting the advances of deceptive cybercriminals trying to steal her personal online information. Go, Denise. Beat cybercrime in your downtime. Learn the easy steps for protecting yourself online today. Act now, stay secure. Visit cyber.gov.au. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
If you have the will, we have the way. Bank of Melbourne.
With festive sleepwear from $14 at Best and Less, Christmas is going to be all bright.
Still using corded power tools? Cut the cord and upgrade to Milwaukee M18 Fuel. All the power you need on one cordless platform. Ensure it's backed by warranty by purchasing from an authorised Milwaukee retailer. Milwaukee, nothing but heavy duty.
Around every corner lies another corner just waiting to be enjoyed.
The BMW 320i sedan, $239 per week at 4.99% per annum. Business customers only. Search BMW 3 Series.
Is that a barbecue? The children's nook smells like cutlets.
It's okay. It was free delivery with Amazon.
Free delivery? That's impressive. Got any vegan options? Got corn.
Free delivery on millions of items. Amazon.com.au.
Free chef-quality knives are back at Coles.
Spend $20 in one transaction, scan your Flybuys to earn one knife credit.
Collect popular favourites and 4 new pieces with credits or half credits and half pay.
Coles, value the Australian way.
Antonio Soprano.
You gotta be good. This kid's got what it takes.
As far as your nephew goes, stay out of his life.
The Many Saints of Newark in cinemas November 4.
Here he is, the statue of Davo.
Rig was in pretty good nick back then, mate.
Well, I sat on the bench for first grade that year.
Oi, guys, it's the lost keys of the long weekend.
Hold up. Did you guys pay me back for that?
From when we won the quaddie on Caulfield Cup Day.
Yep, I remember I gave it all back and then some.
Have you ever got carried away on the punt? Take a sec before you bet. Set a deposit limit, whoever you bet with.
Waiting for Adele for one night only, plus Oprah's exclusive interview on 7. Big Brother VIP is righteously powered by the natural, sustainable and healthy burgers at Grilled.
Chloe! Would you like a hand with those? I'm actually here to see my daughter.
Nice, I'm sure she'll appreciate it.
The daughter I'm visiting? It's you.
What if you didn't know your family?
You are the one who kept him from me. You do not know him like I do. Why don't you want me to see my dad?
What if you shouldn't?
Maybe you should have a think about what your life might look like if that truth came out.
You stay away from my family.
Your family.
Home and Away, weeknights on 7.
Sometimes I have the urge to hurt bad people. I might be a monster, but I'm an evolving monster.
When you play Sink a Sub at Subway, every play wins.
Every play wins. Every play wins.
So get into your nearest restaurant and get winning. Subway, eat fresh.
Nice Gerbers, Keith. You know what else is nice? Insurance that does what you need it to do. Some only insure your house for a set sum, but if anything happens, will that be enough for you to repair or rebuild it as it was?
Morning, Keith.
Don't worry, Amy has an option that does, or pays you the amount of an assessed quote to do so. Does your insurer have a complete replacement cover option? Amy does.
Get ready for everything summer with Clark Rubber. We're 75 years old and set for summer with Australia's largest range of portable pools, pool toys and accessories, plus foam mattresses, overlays and rubber. Catalogue deals out now. Clark Rubber. Everything pools, foam and rubber.
The Cane pub style are too good to play second fiddle. From now on, chips will come with a side of mains. We'll have chips and fish shops and we'll ask,
Would you like burgers with that?
because these chips are the main event. Oh, McCain, you've done it again.
This one's for the parent, enjoying a moment of peace and quiet away from the kids by locking themselves in the bathroom. You've compromised enough. Pepsi Max. No sugar, no compromise.
The McSpicy range. It's already game over. Even the word spicy has your mouth tingling with anticipation for that almighty burn. The only question is, can you handle the heat? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Get $150 off the new Google Pixel 6 Pro 512GB on Australia's largest network. Offer ends November 22nd or while stocks last.
It's value the Australian way this Christmas with Coles juicy Aussie medium black tiger prawns. They're responsibly sourced and down to just $20 a kilo. That's the way a prawn should taste. Only at Coles.
History is filled with almosts. Those who almost adventured, who almost achieved. Then there are others. The ones who embrace the moment and commit. They calm their minds and steel their nerves with 4 simple words, whispered since the time of the Romans. Fortune favors the brave.
It's time to sink a sub at Subway. Buy any sub plus any drink, then peel the sticker to play and win.
He'll play win. He'll play win.
So get into your nearest restaurant and get winning. Subway, eat fresh.
It can be hard to define what makes a character great. But finding great characters is easy.
The star-studded Who Done It? Knives Out, streaming for free for a limited time on 7+. Monday, 7:30.
My sister is Meghan Markle. You know I'm famous for writing letters.
A shocking handwritten letter.
Now, the brand new letter.
Dear Meghan and Harry.
What's in the letter?
The first thing I want to say to both of you.
That's Monday. But don't go anywhere. You won't want to miss what's coming after the break.
Good evening, Michael Usher here. Tonight, a special earlier edition of the latest from 7 News. Finding Cleo Smith, how the rescue unfolded and what tipped police off, plus the first shots of the 4-year-old the moment she was rescued. Starting over, what's next for WA Police now that the search for Cleo is over and the hunt for answers begins? A man in custody, everything we know about the key suspect. Neighbours and witnesses describe potential red flags and his demeanour today. The next few days, how police will approach their interviews with little Cleo to learn about the last 18 days. Stranger danger, a missing persons expert reveals why this is the most unusual abduction case she's ever seen. Reaction from around the world, how Cleo's story has been reported far and wide. We'll go live to London. And a heartwarming moment, Cleo's surprising reaction to her picture on missing posters all over town. That's the latest. Finding Cleo tonight, 9:15, Channel 7.
New Nivea Black and White Max Protection. 48-hour protection and anti-stain. Now with a new formula for our strongest black and white sweat protection. New Nivea Black and White Max Protection.
When you play Sink a Sub at Subway, every play wins.
Every play wins. Every play wins.
So get into your nearest restaurant and get winning. Subway, eat fresh.
Antonio Soprano. You gotta be good. This kid's got what it takes.
As far as your nephew goes, stay out of his life.
The Many Saints of Newark in cinemas November 4.
Powerboard. Play by your own rules.
You don't see them, but they see you. Step inside the mysterious world of Australia's private investigators in the new 8-part podcast series, I Spy. Out now at ispyseries.com.au.
This is it. More noise. More history.
Cricket's oldest run.
More pressure. The more challenging, the more we rise. The ashes. It just means more.
Get $150 off the new Google Pixel 6 Pro 512GB on Australia's largest network. Offer ends November 22nd or while stocks last.
When our adventures become misadventures, cleanse with Elastoplast wound spray and protect with our new Bacteria Shield plaster, blocking 99% of bacteria to help prevent infection. Elastoplast.
It's time to sink a sub at Subway. Buy any sub plus any drink, then peel the sticker to play and win.
He'll play win. He'll play win.
So get into your nearest restaurant and get winning. Subway, eat fresh.
I'll shoot you an estimate as soon as I get back to the office.
Hey, I can help you do that right now. Hi, Thrive.
Thrive?
Yep, I'm the all-in-one management software built for small business. Hi, Thrive.
Help me with scheduling?
Sure thing. Up top. Hi, Thrive.
Payments?
Hi, Thrive.
Promotions?
Hi, Thrive.
Email marketing?
Almost there. Hold on. Wait for it. Hi, Thrive.
Manage my customer list?
Can do, will do. Hi, Thrive.
Post on social media?
Hashtag Hi, Thrive, my friend.
Get started at thrive.com.au.
The must-not-buy list. Products so bad, they've been hit with a Shonky Award.
Your complete buyer's guide is only on Sunrise tomorrow. Which mind-blowing act will set an incredible new standard for all?
Brilliant.
The new America's Got Talent, next up on 7.
Thank you so much for coming tonight.
You're invited to a very special night. The concert of a lifetime.
The one and only Adele.
Adele, one night only, with Oprah's special interview this November on 7.
Sometimes I have the urge to hurt bad people. I might be a monster, but I'm an evolving monster.
If you can dream it, you can build it with GoDaddy. Whatever your idea, you can turn it into something real. When your passion becomes your purpose and you're ready to build your dreams online, we'll be there. Empower your business with GoDaddy.
Nutrigrain with protein, fibre, multigrain, B vitamins and iron. Nutrigrain has essential fuel for active bodies.
Snooze great deals are too great to miss out on. Save 50% off any mattress when you buy any base or bed frame. Plus, visit your local store for more great deals. Hurry, Snooze great deals ends Sunday.
Amazing what a little snooze can do.
Ohan, right?
Yes.
Thanks for coming in.
No worries.
Let's get that extra business phone sorted. Follow me.
We're improving our customer service across Australia with business experts in-store to help when you need it. Book an appointment today.
Me, get delivery like me. See, big twisty, gotta eat. I get mine every day, every week. Chicken wings to the crib, I'm sitting in.
A whole fish, Vietnamese. Pass me the knock, ma'am, sauce, please. Smashed apple to the chateau, yeah. Did somebody say
MENULOG? Menulog.
What a beautiful noise coming up from the street. It's got a beautiful sound. It's got a beautiful beat. What a beautiful noise coming up from the park. It's the song of the kids, and it plays on the It's a beautiful noise. It's a song that I love. It's a beautiful noise. It's the music of life. And it makes me feel good. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. What a beautiful noise.
Here's to the joy we've all been waiting for.
When all is said and done, you believe God is a woman.
Joining the massive lineup of dramas on 7 Plus comes Shameless.
What?
Nobody's saying our neighborhood's a Garden of Eden, but it's been a good home to us, to me and my kids. I love you.
Go away, Frank.
From the studio that brought you TV's biggest hits.
I don't think this is legal.
It's gonna be the hottest party ever.
There's two things that we're really good at. Knowing how to get back up and knowing how to party.
Works for me.
Here we go!
Shameless joins our massive lineup.
I have waited for this day.
Discover something new for free on 7+. To make it on the world's biggest stage, amazing is not enough. You need to be extraordinary.
You're worthy.
But which mind-blowing act will set an incredible new standard for all?
Absolutely brilliant.
The new America's Got Talent. Next up on 7.
We all see the world a little differently. Some see magic. We see mobility's future. Some see a new era. We see that too.
When you play Sink a Sub at Subway, every play wins.
Every play wins. Every play wins.
So get into your nearest restaurant and get winning. Subway, eat fresh.
James Bond, License to Kill. History of violence. I could be speaking to my own reflection.
Oh my God. Come on, Bond. Where the hell are you?
You don't know what this is?
I have to finish this.
When profit isn't your motivation, you define success very differently. At HCF, we define it by welcome back parties,
I've got some good news for you.
sighs of relief,
It's all sorted on our end.
belly laughs, and little surprises. As Australia's largest not-for-profit health fund, we define success by the well-being of our members, because uncommon care is our bottom line.
This is it. More noise. More history.
Cricket's oldest rival.
More pressure. The more challenging, the more we rise. The ashes. It just means more.
This is Australia. This is Australia.
Colorbond, made by Australia.
A distracting new deal every day of November, like 40% off orders over $15, only on the My Macca's app.
I'm trying to be more good, so I adopted a hellhound from the shelter. I'm also drinking this. It has 80% less carbs than a regular beer.
Very nice.
Pure blonde. A touch more good.
Everybody gather round, be Calypso man.
With more mango and less seed, Calypso mangoes are totally irresistible.
Everybody love the Calypso man.
When our adventures become misadventures, cleanse with Elastoplast wound spray and protect with our new Bacteria Shield plaster, blocking 99% of bacteria to help prevent infection. Elastoplast.
It's time to Sink a Sub at Subway. Buy any sub plus any drink, then peel the sticker to play and win.
He'll play win. He'll play win.
So get into your nearest restaurant and get winning. Subway, eat fresh.
Can't get to the track? Well, we'll bring the track to you with Sportsbet's Spring Delivery. Get on the Sportsbet app and you've got everything you need to make it look easy. Switch into gear with key stats so you've got all the form on every runner, market movers to see where the late money's going. And expert tips from Best Bets with full race previews, best of the day and across every track every day. Enjoy a Spring Delivery with Sportsbet.
The 4-year-old is back with her family, finally safe. It's never been more important to know what's happening. Know with 7 News.
The latest from 7 News with Michael Usher.
Good evening and welcome. It's the reunion we feared wouldn't happen. Celebration and sheer relief for a family, a township, state and nation as 4-year-old Cleo Smith is found. Tonight, first photo and the family's reaction, their little girl back in their arms. The heroes who didn't give up, how they cracked the case. Hugs, kisses and a lot of tears inside the moment. Cleo was freed from a locked room in a stranger's home. Why? That answer's still to come. After a twist, the suspect tonight rushed to hospital, and what happens next in the case that has gripped Australia and the world. But first, the moment we'd all been waiting to see today, Cleo's rescue caught on camera.
Yes.
Cleo, my name's Cameron, how are you? Are you okay? We're going to take you to see your mummy and daddy, okay? Is that good?
Well, one of the officers in that shot is walking us through that moment tonight. It took a couple of takes before Detective Senior Sergeant Cameron Blaine could be sure it was the 4-year-old. And once he knew, the wave of relief was immediate.
I said, what's your name? And she didn't answer, and I said, what's your name? She didn't answer again. So I asked her a third time, and then she looked at me and she said, my name's Cleo. And it was, and that was it. So, and they were ecstatic. But still to be able to give them that news and then say, you know, please start making your way to the hospital, we'll meet you there, was fantastic. And it was really, you know, an honour and to be able to witness that reunion. It was more or less that we were talking to her than she was talking to us, but can I say, having seen her a couple of times this morning, she's a little Energizer bunny, and she, you know, how she has that much energy, I wish I did. I'm about ready to go to sleep, but she was, yeah, so just a very, very sweet, energetic girl, very, very trusting and very open with us. You know, we all wanted to take turns in holding her. So, yeah, it was yeah, a really good experience.
Well, let's go straight to our reporter on the scene of that rescue. Ben Downey is live now. Ben, good evening to you. So you've been at the property since just after Cleo was rescued from that house. Police said this was a case of a needle in a haystack. So how did they find the needle?
Yeah, good evening, Michael. Well, it was a case of close to 3 weeks of back-breaking police work. That's how they found the needle. Detectives didn't shine a light on exactly what they did, but they were open to saying it was a combination of many extreme forensic techniques, going through mobile phone towers, cataloguing CCTV and putting it into databases, and all of that back-breaking work led eventually police to a lead. Actually, late yesterday evening, that's when they made the arrest of Terence Kelly. And after they made the arrest here in Carnarvon, not long after that, they raced over to the home they have behind me, and that's where they found Cleo, pulled around, as you heard Cameron Blaine go through there, the amazing scenes. And now it's their job's not over, though. Their job, in fact, is just starting. There's a massive forensic operation unfolding behind me they'll have to go through.
Yeah, now, what is happening at that scene behind you now?
Yeah, well, it's still going to be very much a crime scene into tomorrow and for much longer than that. I mean, the detectives and scene guards remain here right now, but forensics, they've packed up for the evening. Surely they'll come back tomorrow as soon as they can. And, you know, it's not just forensics at this scene that'll have to do some more. There's also police that need to be conducting interviews with Cleo again, specialists that are brought in that have the skills to interview children, that they can interview them without causing any further trauma, but can glean the information that will become necessary if they're going to effectively prosecute this case against Terence Kelly.
Yeah, Ben, look, we saw that magic moment, that beautiful photo of Cleo holding onto the icy pole in the hospital. We know Mum and Dad were with her for quite a while. I presume the family are going to want a whole lot of privacy right now and just some time together. Do we know how the family are going tonight and what they're doing?
Yes, we've just been hearing from them from police via the police conduit. Basically, they've just been issuing their thanks and overwhelming thanks to the community and the police and everyone who's played a role in bringing their little girl home. Obviously, they've said Cleo is in very good spirits. We heard Cameron Blaine just a moment ago saying how she was a little Energizer bunny running around. It was a really touching moment as well. The moment that they brought Cleo into the car, the police family liaison officer that's been dealing with the family for close to 3 weeks now, first thing he did was get on the phone. He called up the parents just after 1 o'clock and said, I've got someone here that wants to talk to you, and put Cleo onto their parents. They raced over here before she even got to hospital. A very tearful reunion brought in. It's a miracle, Russell.
Absolutely. It's quite extraordinary. I mean, you've been there for so many days now following this, seeing it all play out there on the ground. What's that been like, Ben?
Yeah, unbelievable. I mean, I'm the first to admit that, you know, I was losing hope. We're talking to police officers that said we're planning to be here for 6 months. That's how long they were thinking it's going to take to crack this case. I'm just as blown away as everyone else that they've been able to pull off the result that they've delivered today. And the community is even more incredulous. We've been, you know, hours after Cleo was found, when the news was well publicised, we were still running into people that were finding it difficult to believe, that they couldn't believe that someone, you know, not only that she'd been found, that she'd already been alive, but, you know, that community is also feeling that now, the sinister feeling that someone capable of such a callous act was also walking amongst them, someone that they grew up with, had, you know, their family goes back generations in this town. Now they're, you know, going over and asking themselves the questions. I saw this person, you know, it should have been me to come forward. At least now we have a good result.
And she was locked in that room in a house behind you there. All right, Ben, we're going to come back to you shortly. Thank you for that, Ben Downey. Well, they're yet to speak in person, but as Ben was referring there, Cleo's family is delighted to have her home. Mum Ellie Smith posting, quote, "Our family is whole again." That was on Instagram. Later, Ellie took to Facebook, reassuring those that were concerned Cleo's parents may be traumatised by the missing posters still up around the community. Well, she wrote, "Cleo has seen her photo and she thought it was beautiful." Cleo's biological father also making a statement to the media that he was overjoyed and grateful to everyone who helped bring her home. The WA Police Commissioner Chris Dawson joins me now from Carnarvon. Commissioner, really appreciate your time. I know that you started the day quite emotionally. I'm wondering, as you stand there now talking to me, have you taken a big deep breath and just let it all sink in, and how are you feeling tonight?
Look, this is a truly remarkable day in the very short life of a beautiful little girl, Cleo. And look, it's a day that obviously her rescuers, her mum and dad, everyone here will never forget. But I do, for Cleo's sake, hope that she in fact does forget this day. We won't.
I wonder if there's a happier photo ever taken in Australia of a little girl with an icy pole sitting there waving to the camera. How did you feel when you saw that image?
You know, I saw that image probably within an hour of Cleo being rescued from that house. And to see that image, I unashamedly had a tear in the eye, and I don't think I was an orphan there. Many people all around Australia, indeed beyond Australia. What an emotional day.
You're absolutely right about that. Commissioner, was there ever a moment in all of this, we're talking about 18 long days here, where, I don't know, in some quieter moments you thought, all the statistics here are against us, all the research of crimes like this in the past are against us here, the outcome might not be what it is? Did you ever fear that?
Look, we dared to hope. In daring to hope, we did not lose hope, but obviously we were very, very concerned. And look, when you've been involved in these sorts of investigations for many years, we had a great team of people. I want to give them credit, but they didn't give up. And Mum and Dad didn't give up. Important that we didn't give up, but it was looking pretty tough. It was looking very, very concerning. After 18 days, we weren't really as hopeful as one would want to be, but we hadn't lost hope.
I know there'll be a deeper investigation from now on in, but was there one trigger point here in the last 24 hours, one clue that led you to that house?
No, really it was a combination of thousands and thousands of meticulous scraping through, listening, ensuring that we were doing this in a very methodical way. I just want to once again commend the community of Western Australia, the town of Carnarvon. They came forward in droves to give us any bit of information and help, but there's a whole lot of backroom analysis. The officers, and I've just spoken to the constable who went to the scene, within minutes he declared a forensic protected area, a really early judgment call, and all the way through great professionalism, and what a fantastic outcome.
It is a fantastic outcome, and look, on behalf of a lot of people around Australia, congratulations to all of your team there and the mobilisation of that community in the area as well. Quite extraordinary. Commissioner, timeline from this point onwards now, obviously a lot of questions, the big one being motive, charges. Where do we go from here?
Look, a 36-year-old Carnarvon man has been in our custody since early this morning. He has been questioned. We are not yet at the point of formally preferring charges, but you can expect, I would say, before too long, that we'll be making an announcement about the charges that this man who's been in our custody, he is talking to police. it'd be wrong for me to speculate any further than that, but there are some serious charges forthcoming.
Of course. And just on Chloe, we've said safe and well. We can see in the photo that she certainly appears to be that way as well. Are we clear that she was in that house the entire time and that she was treated okay?
Look, that's part of our investigation, and it'd be wrong for me to hypothesise beyond that, because we've still got a way to go in terms of that. She has told us certain things.
Yes.
And as I say, we do have a man we're talking to. There's no other party that we presently are investigating.
Yep.
We do, at this point in time, only have one male person that we're speaking with.
Okay.
The information that we had came through very late yesterday. Things happened very rapidly, but at this point in time, it's too beyond what I can say, other than where we found her is where we think she was taken, but I can't say too much more than that.
Understand. Congratulations to you, your team and everyone in that community. Commissioner, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Michael.
So let's take a look at where this all is happening in Western Australia. The search was centred around the state's west. Cleo disappeared from a campsite in McLeod. That's around a 10-hour drive north of Perth, where the search began. Much of the investigation took place in Carnarvon, where Cleo was eventually found, just 75 kilometres from where she went missing. The house she was found in is just 7 minutes from where she lives. We're learning more about the suspect in police custody also, believed to have been keeping Cleo Smith locked in his home. Terence Kelly's neighbours describing him as a quiet man who keeps to himself.
Well, he's a quiet one. He hardly interacts with any community people, and he attends his activities at Real Futures, and like he's just a loner. Yeah, he just he's got family in Carnarvon, but I mean he doesn't really interact with them. He just sticks to himself. My little girl's dad lived next door to him, and we was over on Sunday afternoon, and he was telling me about how he's noticing he's been up late at night when before because he's a quiet man, and he never ever did things like that.
See him every day, take it off in the car, like if he's in a rush. Yeah. Like if he's paranoid or, yeah.
How do you feel?
I just feel shocked.
We see him up and down in his car driving around, yeah. But every time we see him at his house, he'll jump in his car and he'll drive. But then he'll come around and he'll make sure I have a look at his house, but then he'll just keep driving, yeah. They quiet and that there, they do their own thing, but everyone, they know the person who stays at that house there, they wouldn't think about, or wouldn't thought about it would be him or something, yeah. But we got a shock ourselves that it was him. Other day, I think it was Monday, we saw him in the Woolworths there buying Kimbies and that, but we didn't click on who it was, or what he was buying it for, who he was buying it for, yeah. But until now,
What sort of bloke is Terry Kelly?
I don't know, yeah. He's a loner.
He's a loner. Keeps to himself.
Well, the 36-year-old suspect is under police guard in hospital in Carnarvon tonight, where our reporter Joey Catanzaro joins us live right now. Joey, good evening to you. So what happened this afternoon? It all seemed to change. What happened after he was arrested?
Well, Michael, he was being questioned this morning at Carnarvon Police Station, and then we were told that somehow he'd become injured in custody. Now, I spoke with some of the locals who were also in the lockup at the time. They say there was a lot of blood everywhere, there was screaming, there was some yelling. Shortly after midday, local time here in WA, Mr Kelly was taken to Carnarvon Hospital, where he currently remains under armed guard, and he will remain here until he's deemed medically fit to move. Even then, he may not move far. My understanding is that if he's well enough, he will face court here in Carnarvon as early as tomorrow.
And Joey, what more have you learned about him? What do we know about this person?
Michael, everybody who knows him is in shock. I'm told that he was raised by his grandmother. He's now a bit of a loner. He keeps to himself. I don't know. I mean, I think everybody here is just questioning if what police allege is true, what sort of person could potentially do this? Yeah. Was Cleo in that home for the entire time she was missing? Are there other crime scenes? And I think the biggest question, of course, is the motive. If Kelly did take her, why did he take her?
They're the big questions. We just heard the Commissioner a few seconds ago tell me that he expects at least one charge, I think, to be laid pretty soon. Is that what you're hearing?
Michael, I spoke with police a short time ago. They were initially hoping to lay charges this evening. They now think it's more likely that as detectives build their case, they will lay a charge of kidnapping sometime tomorrow. Other charges, if there are any, may take a great deal of time. It really just depends on what little Cleo is able to tell investigators. It depends what evidence, if any, they're able to extract from the home here in Carnarvon where she was allegedly being held captive. It could be days, could be months. We don't know.
And interviewing her is a very delicate process, obviously. All right, Joey Catanzaro there, thank you. Well, 7 Perth's Tim McMillan is live also from Carnarvon tonight. Let me bring you in. Tim, g'day to you. Now, you interviewed Ellie Smith and her partner Jake just before Cleo was found in a sit-down interview. Based on that conversation, Tim, how do you think they are tonight?
Oh, it's hard to imagine the feelings of jubilation and relief that they would be experiencing, Michael. But when I spoke to them, it was last Monday, it was day 10 of the search for their little 4-year-old daughter. At that point, they said they had barely slept a wink. They couldn't go back to their family home because it was just too traumatic to be in there, knowing that they were in Cleo's house and Cleo wasn't there. They were an absolute mess. As well, they were having to deal with online trolls who were accusing them of having some sort of role in her disappearance. So they were just two very, very broken souls at that point in time. And they also said to me they didn't want to make too much of it, but they did admit that they, at that stage, were starting to lose hope. So one can only imagine their feelings when the phone rings in the middle of the night. I understand they were familiar with the number that was coming up. It was the police's appointed family liaison person whose number came up in Ellie's phone. And when she took that phone call, they very quickly put her on to Cleo, just so that for her, the moment was real. They had her and they could breathe a massive sigh of relief.
What an absolutely magic moment, and Odo have seen and heard all of that. Just a beautiful moment there for her mum. Tim, this is all very in close quarters in Carnarvon. I mean, where she was found is about 7 minutes away from the family home. We are guessing tonight that they've gone back to the home. Perhaps they're still in hospital, but this is all going to be very present for them. I'm just wondering what the feeling is going to be like in Carnarvon tonight where you are.
Yeah, look, initially, it's absolute relief that she's been found because, you know, Ellie's family, they weren't the only ones who were starting to lose hope. And to think the scale of this search, it quickly went from a land, air and sea search around the Blowholes campsite to include here in Carnarvon and then to a range of 1,000 kilometres. And then very quickly it became a statewide, even nationwide search. So to learn today that she was found safe and well, and then to find out that she was found in a house that's 2 minutes down the road from the police station here, only 7 minutes away from her family home, is just incredible. So I think at the moment it is just pure joy that she's been found alive and well, but I dare say that that mood is going to start to change a little bit. Certainly we're hearing that the accused man, well, he's not even charged yet. That's likely to happen sometime in the next 24 hours. When he faces court, I think people are really going to start to ask questions about what the last 18 days have been like. What on earth has been going on with Cleo in that time?
So, I mean, that image again that we're running is just fantastic, though, to see her sitting up in the hospital bed giving a wave with the icy pole. But that note this afternoon was interesting, Tim. Police urging the community to stick together. Do we read into that? What are their concerns?
Well, I think the concerns at the moment, this is a small town. It's about 4,500 people. You spend any time on the ground here, you start to hear stories, theories, you start to hear rumours. People think they know people connected to the family, connected to the accused. They've all got their ideas about what may or may not have happened. And I think for police now, once, again, as I say, the relief of finding her starts to subside, their investigation more or less hits a reset. Now that they've got a person that they've identified as a suspect, they now have to go back and try to retrace that person's steps over the last 2.5 weeks. While all of the theories are being bandied around in this pretty close-knit community, they've got to sift through that because the next step for them is trying to mount and to land a successful prosecution. So their job, after all of the celebration tonight is really going to start from scratch again tomorrow as we enter in the next phase. But I can tell you, I mean, even police, they are really feeling it. Just after we got here today and we were setting up for a press conference here at the Carnarvon Police Station, I saw one of the officers come out and very proudly and purposefully plant that found sticker over the top of the missing poster.
That's
and you
great,
could
isn't it?
get a sense of the pride that they were feeling. But look, pretty soon they also have to realise, and I know that they do, that they have to present a compelling case in court.
They do. It's now all about the facts and not the speculation, but it's good to see that found sticker as well. It's very telling. All right, Tim McMillan, great to talk to you.
It was quite a moment.
Yeah, I bet it was. Good on you. Thank you.
Thanks, Michael.
Well, still to come, stranger danger. A missing persons expert reveals why this is the most unusual abduction case she's ever seen. The search for Cleo is over, but the hunt for answers just beginning, as we've been reporting. We ask what police are planning next, and the most talked about 4-year-old in the world, how international news has reacted to Cleo's story. That is next, here on the latest from 7 News. We're back shortly.
Cleo is back with her family, finally safe.
They want him gone now more than ever before. Trouble has already returned to St Kilda.
The 6-year-old mare will resume racing in autumn.
It's never been more important to know what's happening. Know with 7 News.
4, 3, 2, 1.
You can find lots of things when you book a Stays holiday house. Even each other. Your together awaits. Find it on Stays.
It's time to take a look at the definition of performance. New Performance throws you back into your seat, squeezes every molecule and watt, and gets a thrill from giving back. Performance redefined.
Oh, look at your ties.
Still wasn't the biggest regret I had that day.
Has your betting ever gone too far? Take a sec before you bet. Set a deposit limit, whoever you bet with.
Meet Steve, a lifelong misser. Until he found the power of Raid Max with double nozzle. Hard to miss and kills on contact.
SC Johnson.
Chromebooks are a new way to laptop, starting with the Everything button, so you can find anything the moment you need it. From files and apps, even answers online, instantly. And Chromebooks are secure with virus protection that's built in. So no more of this. And a lot more peace of mind. So peaceful. So if you're ready to upgrade to fast, easy and secure, don't just switch to a new laptop. Switch to a new way to laptop. Switch to Chromebook.
Who would like to start? Natalia?
Hi, I'm trying to be more good. So this month I've been doing human-free Mondays.
Well done.
I've started recycling what's left of the enemy bases I destroy.
Well, I adopted a hellhound from the shelter. I've also started drinking this. It has 80% less carbs than regular beer.
Very nice.
Pure blonde. A touch more good.
What does it take to be a real Aussie energy provider? For starters, it helps to be Australian owned. At Red Energy, we're 100% owned by the mighty Snowy Hydro. It also means our customer solutions team is based right here in Australia and being powered by a leader in renewable energy. So switch to Australia's most trusted energy retailer. Red Energy, 100% Australian electricity and gas.
7's broadcast of this Spring Racing Carnival is brought to you by Bet365.
Everyone learnt the recorder. But did you ever learn to do this? View America's Got Talent tomorrow on 7.
Welcome back. Well, the search for Cleo Smith had the whole nation looking, but as we now know tonight, the 4-year-old was allegedly being held captive only a 7-minute drive from her family home, less than an hour from the campsite where she was abducted. Now, Ben Downey is at the crime scene, as we were just talking to him before, live from Carnarvon again. Ben, the question everyone wants to know tonight is an update on Cleo's condition. How is she, do we know?
We're still waiting for an official update. The family, Michael, they're using police as the channel to talk to the media and the rest of the world, as well as putting small updates on social media. What we do know is that she is definitely safe and well, and if she could survive close to 3 weeks inside a home like this, locked up, and come out smiling and full of energy and be described as an Energizer bunny, I think having now spent a day with her family, she could only be in better spirits. Tomorrow, though, sadly this ordeal isn't over for Cleo. She's going to be having to speak to specialist detectives that, talk to children, know how to, extract information from them without causing any drama. So, one thing I'm sure has been communicated to her is how much this entire town has been behind her, not just the town, but the entire nation, sending messages of support, all the vigils that have been held, the fact that it's created headlines internationally. I'm sure at 4 years old, she should be able to at least take some information and understand a little bit of just how everyone was pulling through for her. And even though when she felt alone, everyone was praying and hoping that she'd be found alive.
I think if we can read into any of her behaviour there, the way she was hugging the police officer there, playing with his hoodie, the way she smiled in that photo, it does certainly match what police have told us, that she was safe and well, the well bit being really important, so that's good. The charges we spoke about just a few minutes ago, but they are expected imminently. What's the process now, Ben? Probably a charge, a holding charge of some kind, whilst they forensically get more evidence together for potential other charges?
Yeah, that's right, Michael. I think once we see the first charge laid, like you mentioned, it's probably going to be more to follow. What's going to happen now, obviously, is they still have to finish the interview with Terence Kelly. So once they fully complete that, they'll get all the information they need. They also need to fully dissect the home behind me. Once they're satisfied, they have every piece of information from that. They've got enough information from Terence and from Cleo, who'll have to be interviewed as well. Then they'll begin to lay the charges. But of course, they can't hold him for too long without issuing a charge. So if they're not confident that they can charge him fully, like you said, we'll have to issue a holding charge. Expected around sometime tomorrow. I think police are not going to be as kind to Terence as they were to Cleo, so they have to be interviewing him through the night. I don't think they're going to be sparing any time to process that. But yes, charges tomorrow, likely to appear either in the Carnarvon Magistrates Court before a magistrate here, or perhaps be taken to Geraldton. No word on whether he'll need to be travelling all the way to Perth so far.
As we're seeing in the vision there, though, just depending, I guess, on his medical condition tonight, as we know, he was taken to hospital, so we'll see there. All right, Ben, you've put in some marathon reporting on all of this. We appreciate it. Thank you. Now, as the Midnight Miracle was unfolding, it was obviously in the dead of night, and the WA Premier was for a while asleep and unaware of the raid, but by daylight, full of thanks for everyone who got us to this point.
I got a message at 1:38 this morning from the Police Commissioner. I didn't answer it. I was asleep. But I did, I woke up at about 3 and I saw the message, so it was a great piece of news. And he sent me a photo of little Cleo in a hospital bed sitting there smiling, so it was a wonderful piece of news. So, look, I don't know what to expect in these things. You never know what to expect. You hope for the best, but, you prepare for the worst. It's just an exciting day for all of us. Police sent 63 officers up to Carnarvon who've been working full-time on this for the last 18 or 19 days. So that's been a massive effort, plus all the other police officers there, plus all the community volunteers out searching the bush out there. It's been a remarkable effort. Yeah, as often is a tragic outcome, but this is great news and uplifting for the entire country, and especially for those people who put their heart and soul into finding little Cleo, and I know they're so proud and pleased of what has been achieved, and often unacknowledged. Police officers are often unacknowledged for what they do, and I want to make sure that we all acknowledge them for what they've done. All the people who did the work to solve this is one of those cases that you're really quite unsure it'll ever get solved, but it was, and solved in a good way in that she's come home alive and well.
And Prime Minister Scott Morrison has shared his relief over the news Cleo was found safe. Let's bring in our political reporter, Jennifer Beshwadi at Parliament House now. Jen, good evening to you. He was making a stopover in Dubai.
Yeah, that's right, Michael. Before greeting the troops at an airbase in Dubai, the Prime Minister wanted to say a few words to those watching back at home about the rescue. He welcomed the news that young Cleo was found alive and well. He praised the work of all emergency services and volunteers involved in the search effort. He says that his prayers and those of everyone in the country have now been answered.
I just want to say how thankful I am that Cleo is home and that she's safe. To Ellie and Jake, this is every parent's worst nightmare, and the fact that that nightmare has come to an end and our worst fears were not realised is just a huge relief.
Tributes have also flowed on social media from members of Parliament, from the Deputy Prime Minister Barnaby Joyce. This is the outcome Australia wanted. From Labor's Tanya Plibersek, Cleo Smith is safely back in the arms of her parents. Welcome home, Cleo. And also speaking today, Opposition Leader Anthony Albanese.
It's the idea that your child goes missing for 18 days would have been just such a traumatic experience for this family.
I think it's fair to say, Michael, that all politicians are united in their joy over this miraculous recovery.
All right, Jen Beshwadi, thank you. It's an extreme case of lost and found that really captured the attention of the nation and the world. Europe Bureau Chief Hugh Whitfeld's live from London tonight. Hugh, good evening to you. Cleo Smith is making global headlines.
Michael, she is, and I think it's fuelled by a couple of things. The world has always had a peculiar fascination with Australia's outback, the isolation, the distances, the sort of thing that people here in Britain, for example, simply cannot fathom, the isolation of a town like Carnarvon. Add to that the fact that the world is hungry for a good news story right now, and Cleo Smith is the top story.
Missing 4-year-old Cleo Smith has been found alive and well after disappearing from a campsite in Western Australia more than 2 weeks ago. Cleo vanished from her family's tent near the town of Carnarvon, triggering an enormous search.
4-year-old girl who went missing in Western Australia has been found alive more than 2 weeks after she disappeared from her family's campsite. Police say a 36-year-old man with no connection to the family is now in custody over Cleo Smith's disappearance.
Our headlines today. Reunited with her parents, 4-year-old Cleo, whose disappearance sparked nationwide search, has been found safe and well.
And to some breaking news now, the Western Australia Police Force has just released a picture of little Cleo Smith. She's sitting up in a hospital bed, waving to the camera and eating an iced lolly.
Police have now detained a 36-year-old suspect. Public pleas to help find the missing child pushed individual search efforts by local residents, helping police to solve the case.
And it's not just TV, but websites around the world as well. One site here dubbing Cleo Australia's Maddie. And of course, there's been plenty of parallels drawn between Cleo Smith and Maddie McCann. Of course, Kate and Jerry McCann have never had to or never been able to experience the sort of happy outcome that Cleo's parents have been able to, but there's certainly been, as I say, a long-term fascination with these sort of cases, particularly in Australia. You only have to think back to the Azaria Chamberlain case, Michael, and I think going forward there'll be a lot of eyes on where this investigation goes and any eventual outcome.
Absolutely, a lot of interest. All right, Hugh Whitfeld in London, thank you for that. Well, missing persons expert and research consultant Dr Sarah Wayland has studied missing persons cases and worked with families for 20 years. She's live now from Sydney. Sarah, good evening to you. Look, I know we feared the worst outcomes here. The WA Police Commissioner told me that he dared to hope. How rare is an outcome like this one, the one we've seen today?
It's an incredibly rare event, and not only the fact that Cleo was abducted in the first place, but that she was located alive and well. So it's both a rare event and a rare outcome in terms of the happy news that we've all received.
Do you have any insights into how that, you recall that $1 million reward that was offered early on, might have impacted the case?
Look, I think the families I've worked with over the last few decades have really talked about the inclusion of a reward to do a number of things. Sometimes it's operationally used by the police. Sometimes it's used in a way to garner some more attention from the community. And sometimes it's just a continual reminder, particularly for those long-term cases, that families are still waiting for news of a loved one. So it could have been all of those things, but I think it's also, you know, a few glimmers of hope that have come together.
I mean, the impact on the family must be extraordinary. You've done a lot of research into things like that as well, you know, when there's no happy ending. How do you think many of them are feeling today?
Look, I think that the first thing I thought, well, probably the second. The first thing I thought was what wonderful news. And the second thing I thought was imagine the sadness of so many long-term missing persons families across Australia at the moment. Families of long-term missing people exist in that space between hopefulness and hopelessness. And they would be cheering the family on, but also be wondering when their miracle might come to the foreground.
And I'm very, very mindful. I've interviewed a few times over time the people close to the William Tyrrell case, and, you know, this is the scenario that they'd be sitting. In fact, one of them contacted me today saying that they were just so happy, but they're watching a scenario unfold that they haven't been able to experience. It must be terribly difficult. But what is the strangest thing about this case to you? What stands out?
Look, I think what stands out is that we're often considering the ways the inclusion of social media in missing persons cases has shown that not only do community become involved, but they also become armchair detectives. And that challenge of being able to fight the community's assumptions about what they think happens, as well as making sure that we not only prioritise cases like Cleo's, but other missing persons who also need the same amount of community attention, need to be embraced. So I think in this case, it was really difficult to step back and just let the police do their work without being clouded by the community interest and the community intrigue about what they thought had happened.
Yeah, do you think this one will be studied? I mean, it's been quite an extraordinary effort by the WA Police and the government, the way they were supported up there. Do you think this one will be studied in how they did it? We're living in an era of electronic surveillance, but it was a remote area. They even had to go back through rubbish bins to try and get clues. It's been an interesting one.
I think there's always dual paths when we're talking about complex missing persons cases. I think operationally, we always need to understand what can be learnt from each case so that it can be applied to others, but also the emotional impacts of what happens for families, what happens to extended family, but also how we look after each other when we talk about these incidents happening in our community, because sadly they will happen again.
Yeah. How do you think that little family's doing tonight with Cleo back in their arms?
Look, it's my daughter's 16th birthday today, and I still go in every night and kiss her goodnight after she's fallen asleep. So I would be imagining that they're very much hovering over the top of her right now.
Absolutely. I think they would be. All right, Dr. Sarah Weiland, great to talk to you. Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
Well, still to come, we'll cross back to Carnarvon for the very latest on Cleo's condition and the police questioning of the suspects. Plus, the impact of this ordeal on Cleo and her family, a child and family psychologist explains. That's next, here on the latest from 7 News.
Now, the new music is here. ABBA's Benny and Bjorn host a very special spotlight.
Hello, Australia.
Hear the big new songs, their first in 40 years.
We share our new music with you.
And their next big announcement.
Join us for this special event.
7 News Spotlight, an evening with ABBA, Sunday at 7 on 7.
We've experienced every emotion life has to offer here. But before we kindly ask you to take your seats again, we ask that you take a seat here first.
I started having these anxiety attacks a few years ago when I was like 9. I had no idea. It's just people look at you and think you're just too young or something. I actually had a mate in my football team who took his own life. I'm so sorry. It's important to get help early. Hey. I'm glad you did.
Cure to Cure's goal is curing cancer, changing lives. We do this through funding cancer research, helping scientists unlock key cancer breakthroughs. Something that breaks new ground or shifts old thinking and improves how we treat cancer. It's an achievement, sometimes big, sometimes small, that brings us closer to our goal of a cancer-free future. We've just celebrated our 50th breakthrough, but there's still so much more to do. Donate today and help us keep funding research that changes lives.
Heroes come in many forms. They're protecting our rivers, our woodlands, our deserts, our coastlines, and our wildlife. Our bush heroes are out there every day, restoring habitat, working with fire, and combating climate change. They do it for us. They do it for them. They do it because it must be done. We need our bush heroes now more than ever before. Become one today at bushheritage.org.au.
I was a victim of cyberbullying at my school. What? A boy in my class put my photos and my name on the internet. That's so bad. The worst part was I couldn't escape it, like even in my own home. I kept on getting these horrible emails and texts from randoms.
But you know it's not your fault, right?
I do now.
Tour de Cure's goal is curing cancer, changing lives. We do this through funding cancer research. We've just celebrated our 50th breakthrough, but there's still so much more to do. Donate today and help us keep funding research that changes lives.
The must not buy list. Products so bad they've been hit with a Shonky Award.
Your complete buyer's guide is only on Sunrise tomorrow.